Breaking news, a lawyer for Pence discovered about a dozen documents marked as classified at Pence's Indiana home just last week. He has turned those classified records over to the FBI. Now, it's not yet clear what the documents are related to or their level of sensitivity or classification, but Pence's team is notifying Congress, and the FBI, as we mentioned, is reviewing the documents.
All right, elsewhere, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's protocol aide was the official recommended by Hunter Biden to move classified documents through D.C.'s Chinatown for years before they ended up at the Penn Biden Center.
Our national correspondent Logan Raddick is live at the Pentagon with more. Logan.
Well, Katrina and Bob, good to see you. Kathy Chung is the Deputy Director of Protocol here at the Pentagon, and for several years she's maintained correspondence with Hunter Biden. In fact, Hunter Biden has actually recommended her throughout her career. More on that in a moment. But let's take a look at the emails that are found in Hunter Biden's infamous laptop. This one from 2015, in which Chung sent him phone numbers for the Clintons, senators, and most of the Obama cabinet. She'd previously worked for Democratic Senators Ted Kaufman, who was Joe Biden's successor, and Mark Udall. Chung allegedly oversaw the packing and shipping of Biden's classified documents in 2017 after securing a well-placed recommendation from none other than Hunter Biden. The documents were moved in the summer of 2017 from a government transition office near the White House to a location in D.C.'s Chinatown, where the Penn Biden Center was operating until their headquarters near Capitol Hill opened up a little bit later on. And they were, again, relocated to that D.C. Chinatown location. Right now, Kathy Chung is working here at the Pentagon. The Pentagon has not commented on this matter, and the attorney for Chung is declining to comment at all about Chung's connection to the document scandal, which now stretches across the Potomac River here to the Pentagon. Back to you.
All right, Logan, thanks so much.
All right, joining us right now, a former U.S. Attorney and Executive Director of Right on Crime, Brett Tolman, and Senior Advisor and Counsel to President Trump, Boris Epshteyn. Boris, your thoughts about what you're seeing over the past, I guess it's been a couple weeks now.
Well, thanks so much for having me. Here are my thoughts. There's no doubt that Joe Biden and his crime family have a huge problem here. The Kathy Chung issue continues to mushroom. And then the fact that they've been, let's be honest, misrepresenting the facts to the American people, hiding the process from the American people. And then the fact that they found documents going back to Biden's time in the Senate in this last search. It's a huge issue for Joe Biden, huge issue for his family, and for his absolute hopeless team. But what else could we expect? Joe Biden has failed at everything. He's failed on the border. He's failed on the economy. He's failed on energy. And of course, he's failing at handling this crisis.
And Boris, in a 37-minute conference call with reporters, Ian Sams, a spokesperson for the White House counsel's office, declined to say whether the president's Rehoboth Beach residence will be searched. And previously, we had gotten reports that there was nothing found at that Rehoboth Beach residence. But the same goes for Mr. Biden's Senate papers at the University of Delaware. However, Sams did make clear there won't be any on-camera briefings by the president's lawyers anytime soon. Take a listen.
Look, I think that there's some of this that in every presidency, there are many people out there in the media who sort of try to stir up controversy to get attention or time on camera. But I think it's important to sort of take a step back here while we're having this conversation about these issues to look at the sort of underlying issue that we're talking about here.
Brett, what underlying issue are we talking about here? We also know that the president was at his Rehoboth Beach residence this weekend. That could have been a perfect time to search.
Well, the underlying issue that the country is concerned about is this double standard in the Department of Justice. I've served as, a federal prosecutor for a time being, and I've served as a defense counsel on classified documents cases. And I can assure you they're not following standard operating procedure, and not at least with President Biden. We've heard about Vice President Pence and the fact that he may have seen documents. It's not surprising to me that he did a search. I am somewhat mystified that we're now having classified documents showing up in personal residences, especially if you know the protocols that are required in order to handle top secret documents. In the Biden case, We want to know that the Department of Justice is treating it fairly, like they would anybody else in this country. They haven't if they're not searching one of the residences, given the number of places and the amount of documents we're now finding.
Yeah, and Sams was asked repeatedly to identify the total number of documents or pages of classified materials recovered from the president's possession. He indicated that that figure is unknown even to the president's team. Here's what he said.
In some cases, for example, materials get handed over immediately to the proper authorities. Members of the president's personal legal team, don't, go through all the material. They immediately hand it over to the proper authorities. So the very process that we have followed means that in some cases, we may not know all the answers to all the questions about the underlying material.
Yeah, Boris, I think a lot of people watching wonder, will we ever really know the total number? Because there were some that were released, and then we found out about more, and then we found out about more, and more after that. I think a lot of Americans look at this and say, we may never get the whole story.
Well, one thing, and a free piece of advice for the Biden team is get a better spokesperson. I mean, that sounds like something out of Veep. Mr. Sams doesn't say anything at all, just tries to spin and spin and spin, and fails in doing so. Here's the bottom line. Biden's team lied. Biden's team misrepresented. Even in this latest release, they said 6 items containing classified documents were removed, trying to portray it as if it were 6 documents, but it was 6 items containing documents. What does that say? What does that mean? Who knows? As folks from Breitbart pointed out, could be thousands of documents. So there is no information out there. The Biden team continues to obfuscate, and that has become a disaster for them. What's clear is President Trump followed all laws, rules, and regulations, and Joe Biden and his criminal family absolutely did not.
Well, there are a lot of people who would take issue with that because it took quite a while for the former president to actually turn over all documents, and then finally a grand jury.
President Trump, though, sent 15 boxes of documents and also said, if there's anything else you need, just let us know. What did the DOJ do?
I think, Boris, the only point that I'm making is it's not like there were no issues when it came to turning those over. And you can have 2 wrongs, okay? We don't even have to compare what is the Biden administration doing.
I think there was a right from President Trump and a wrong for Biden. That's my perspective.
I know that is your perspective. I'm trying to put out some facts that actually might put it in journalistic perspective.
I think also what American people really want across the board is transparency, and we do know that we are not getting that from this current administration, but we are going to have to leave it there. Brett Tolman, Boris Epshteyn, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks.
Thank you.